Hi, this is Dave Bush, WITY, with Jane Berbaum in the 40th anniversary of the I&I Historic Farm Days in Penfield, Illinois. And Jane, you are the head of the Ladies Auxiliary.
Right.
And they've been at this location here in Penfield for 20 years now.
21 years, that's right.
And you've been the head of the Ladies Auxiliary for how long?
Well, we kind of started about 19 years ago, and I've been president for most of those years. A couple of other ladies helped out also.
The history on the I&I has been, you've got a display here, and kind of the events, it starts back in 1976.
That's right, that's right. The first few years that they started, they did several displays, what they call static displays, and demonstrations of some of their machinery, maybe threshing wheat or plowing. And they went to a lot of the malls and showed a lot of their equipment that they always become real proud of what they have, even though it doesn't look like anything to us. And then, starting in 1979, they went to one of the club members' farms, and they started a show. That was in 1979, and it was on the border near Indiana and Illinois, thus I&I. So they were there for about 3 years, doing all kinds of demonstrations, even had ham and bean meals and that kind of thing. And then gradually we went to the Champaign County Forest Preserve. This is more of the 1979 show. Newspaper articles and all that. Then we went to the Champaign County Forest Preserve in about 1987. And we were there for 9 years, doing some of the same thing, but having larger grounds to be able to do all of their activities. So then in 1996, we purchased the property here, and we were intending to have the show, the Historic Farm Days, at the Forest Preserve location, but they did some construction on the road in front of the site, and they thought it would be ready, but weather didn't help any. And so we, at 10 days before the show, took a look at the road and decided that we could not have the show there. So we moved it here, and it was a very primitive show, but it was very successful, and we've been doing it ever since here. Now, the building that we're in right now was built in 1998. It was the location of the original building that we got, but in 1997, it burned down. So we rebuilt this building. We also own the old Penfield Grade School. It's a huge, nice brick building that has a lot of classrooms in it and a gym. That's the location of our I&I Historic Farm Museum. Now, the Ladies Auxiliary got started, our first meeting was about March of 1997. A group of us ladies got together and decided that we would help out, because having our own show here in Penfield, they needed a lot of extra help. And being spouses, we noticed a lot of things about the show that we would like to change a little bit. So we started adding activities for the ladies during the show, and for the kids. They had always had what they call a pedal pull, which is kind of a competition for the kids. But we added like a petting zoo and a straw scramble where you throw quarters into the straw and they dive in and get those, and various other activities. And then, of course, we started what we called the household exhibit, showing all kinds of things that the ladies would have used 1950 or before. Supposed to be convenience items, but they're not really. And so that's just keep growing all, over the years, and each year the Ladies Auxiliary in the household exhibit will feature something. One year it was a parlor. We have set up a general store in there. This year we are celebrating 140th birthday of Penfield itself. So we have an exhibit set up in there. So we kind of get to change it every year. But in the school itself, we have rooms upstairs that have farm equipment and tools. The gym is full of the large pieces of equipment. And then we have 4 classrooms that 2 of them the household exhibit, and one is what we call the corn room, which has all kinds of items related to corn, feed bags, some implements, and then what we call the IH room, which has a replica counter as if you would go to the parts store and buy something. So we just keep expanding and expanding. We were able to we were given the old Methodist church here. So that's on our grounds. Eventually, across from that, 3 sides of a log cabin were found, and we found parts to make the 4th one. So now we have a log cabin complete with chimney. And we just recently moved in a 1-room schoolhouse that came from Rantoul. It was the only existing intact schoolhouse. So we're really proud of that. We have a blacksmith shop, and we have a sawmill also that are operational during the show. So it's really expanded over those 21 years that we've been here.
And over those 21 years, I tell you what, it used to be just tractors.
Yes.
And, well, it's a lot more than just tractors.
Tractors and gas engines, but not so much anymore.
And I will say, it's not just for the farmer to come here.
No, the whole family can really enjoy, because we've also added some extra kids games that they would enjoy. There's just tractor pulls. That's a big thing with the guys, so they like that. And food, we've got food on the grounds, so everything's here for you.
Oh, the pork palace, I can smell it already.
Right. That's 2 of our fundraisers that the ladies started, were the pork palace, where they serve pork sandwiches with chips and a drink, and the root beer float stand, and everybody likes those. So those have been good money makers for us.
Well, congratulations on 40 years and 40 more years coming up at the I&I Historic Farm Days, the 40th anniversary, and the 19th anniversary of the Ladies Auxiliary.
That's right. As you can tell, when you get me started, there's a lot to talk about, so we're very proud of it.
And we can talk more. Thank you, Jane Berbaum, the head of the Ladies Auxiliary here at the I&I Historic Farm Days, 40th anniversary in Penfield, Illinois.